And one of the things that confuses me the most is that we don't really understand what gravity is.
In science, if we can describe how something works and predict its future behavior, we claim to understand it and we move on. Science can describe how gravity works, but can they describe why it works?
Can we?
I can describe what gravity is doing. I even have a mechanism for it. Are you going to still ask me, why is there gravity? Is that answer not fulfilling enough to you, even in the why department?
Wait, what? I don't know about you, but I don't think this makes any sense. Let me explain why. Science has helped us progress in many aspects of our lives, whether that's in advancing medicine, developing technology, or helping us understand the world in which we live. Science utilizes our senses to observe and investigate the physical world to determine how mechanisms function in our universe. We live in a world where materialism has become the norm, and it has become increasingly accepted that the truth can only be derived through our senses. Unfortunately, this has led many people to adopt incoherent worldviews and false assumptions about science and what truths it can and can't reveal. Worldviews such as philosophical naturalism. Naturalists urge that reality is exhausted by nature, containing nothing supernatural, and that the scientific method should be used to investigate all areas of reality, including the human spirit. Some atheists are convinced that science is the only means or method by which truth can be attained and that all questions about the world we live in can be answered through science. Another false assumption is when something is a scientific fact, then that means it will never change. Obviously, all these points mentioned are problematic. Firstly, the assumption that science is the only means to attain the truth is incorrect. Although science has helped us answer some questions, however, it does have some limitations. Science is restricted to our limited observation and our perception of the world around us through our senses. This is a significant factor because what we know as non-observable today can be observable tomorrow. A relevant example could be the invention of the light microscope. Subsequently after that, the electron microscope. These technological progressions have revealed to us things which were previously considered unobservable or non-observable. Another reason why science cannot be used to establish the truth about our reality is the fact that science has no foundation for morality. Science cannot tell us what is right and what is wrong. Some atheists have taken the position that morality stems from our biological conditioning. This would mean that different conditioning would result in different moral standards. If we were to say that morals are based on our physical conditions, then that would mean that morals are subjective. This contradicts the fact that some morals are undeniably objective, such as unjust killing, rape, theft, and so on. If one takes the position that our moral standards are a result of physical biological conditioning, then this would make our moral values meaningless, because our moral values could have been a lot different if we were conditioned differently. Now back to the how argument. If we were to take the example of a mum baking a cake for her children, and when they come to eat it, one of them asks, "Why has our mother baked this cake?" Science cannot do much to answer this question. By employing scientific methods, we can take the given data, such as the ingredients, the oven temperature, and hypothesize how she made the cake. But this does not explain why she made the cake. This example helps us understand that science tells us the what and the how, but it does not give us the why. It does not give us the purpose behind physical phenomena that occur in our world. This leads atheists to inherit the false assumption that purpose, as we know it, simply does not exist. To say that there's no purpose or that it quite simply does not exist is unreasonable, as it contradicts most of our day-to-day reasoning. Imagine watching a film where a character works towards a goal throughout the entirety of its runtime, and then at the end the character is told that his actions don't mean anything and that there is no goal. Any person would come to the conclusion that this would be a terrible idea for a movie and that it wouldn't make any sense. Everything that was presented in the film wouldn't have any significant meaning. We live in a time where traditional worldviews are heavily scrutinized and scientific theories are taken as scientific fact and absolute. However, any sincere scientist can tell you that science can help us understand how the world works and stop at that. Muslims shouldn't feel pressured to accept scientific conclusions as fact. As Muslims, we shouldn't assume we know everything with our limited human knowledge. Instead, we should remember that ultimate knowledge lies with Allah, Al-Alim, the All-Knowing. Muslims shouldn't feel pressured to believe in what mainstream thinkers, atheists, and scientists say what is and isn't true. Science is a wonderful endeavor, and more Muslims should partake in it just as those Muslims did in the past. However, its conclusions should not be treated as the ultimate everlasting truth. and we must recognize that it cannot answer all our questions, nor can it be used to disprove the existence of God.